What is going on, guys? Joe Pouch here, and welcome to a video that might be fairly long. As you see by the title, we are talking about my experience, my memories filming the Agents series and the Omega series. There are other little tiny small sub-series and videos my cousin and I filmed, but we're talking about Agents and the Omega series mainly today. So this video is mainly for, this is at the request of a friend wanting me to film a video like this. I'm not on location. I'll do another video where I'm actually on location of filming spots. Maybe in a couple weeks I'll do that. But I wanted to talk about today what it was like with my cousin, spending time with him filming the Agents series and the Omega series. Now this is kind of an oddball video to put on YouTube. This is mainly for my sort of nostalgia for the great times I had with my cousin. It's kind of a reflective video. I don't expect this to get a lot of views. Nobody's gonna understand this that watches this, but if you do kind of want to get an understanding, head to the Omega Agents HD channel. That is TheOmegaAgents HD. Head to that channel, or there's a new channel. It's got like 3 subscribers, and the profile picture is a guy with a gas mask. Go to Agents Cinematic Universe if you want to watch some of the old Agents videos. There's also some Agents videos and Omega videos on my channel that you just scroll through my channel. They're really old. They've been posted like 8, 9, 10 years ago. So scroll through my channel, go to the Omega Agents HD, go to Agents Cinematic Universe if you want to understand some of the things I'm talking about. This is going to be a minimally edited video, if edited at all. More so just me rambling, talking. I don't expect this to get any traction. This is just more for me and my friends to watch if they want to. So what is the Agents series and the Omega series that I'm talking about? When I was growing up, my cousin and I spent a lot of time together. He's about 6, 7 years older than me. And when I was about 5, 6 years old, he got this camera in 2005 to 2006. He got this camera that was really low quality, like 240p. It had like a 5 or 10 megabyte, megabyte, not gigabyte, memory card. And he got this camera, and before the Agents, sorry, I cut myself when I was shaving earlier. Before the Agents series and the Omega series came into play, there actually was another series that we did before that in 2005 that was all photos. It was called The Last Jedi, I believe. Is that the name of the movie? Or, I think it was called The Last Jedi, or it had a different name. Like The Final Jedi, that's not right. No, it wasn't The Last Jedi, it was The Last Hope, I think is what it was called. And it was a Star Wars series my cousin and I did, which was all photos. We'd take different pictures of me holding my saber like this, and then the next shot I'd be like this. The next shot we'd be clashing sabers. He was 12 years old, I was 6, 5, 6, he was 11 or 12. And that was our first ever series we did. My cousin Josh always had this knack for filming, cinema, and he wanted to make movies and series and stuff. And to supplement the fact that we couldn't make AAA studio movies or Netflix shows, we did little camcorder videos. And when I was 5 years old, the first one was The Last Hope. I think that's what it was called. All photo. We tried to make it like a video show. It was like stop motion almost, but like really stop motion. It was like a picture every second we would show. And I was like a Sith Lord in it, whatever. Then the first official series we did was actually supposed to be a birthday present for my dad. I was 6 years old at the time, and we filmed this series called Agents, which we filmed. The very first filming location for the Agents series was at this trailer up in Indianapolis, where my aunt and grandmother used to live. Josh lived with them too. At the time, he was 12, I was 5, 6. And this series was supposed to be like a 1-episode thing, surprise for my dad. And it ended up blowing up into this huge hobby that him and I would have for 14, 15 years. until we had this falling out, which I'm not going to go into details about. That's just how it ended. So I'll sum it up quickly. The Agents series is a sci-fi action-based series. We've had many iterations of the Agents series. We've had Agents, the TV series, Agents Returns, Agents the Final Four, Agents Universe, Agents like Saga or something. We've had many iterations and alternate versions of the original Agents series we filmed in 2005, which was Agents, the TV series. For all of those series, it's basically the same storyline. I play a character named Spencer the First, and I also play the son of Spencer the First, Spencer the Second, in 2006 and 7, which ironically looks exactly like Spencer the First, because it was me. We didn't have anyone else. We didn't have a 30-year-old to play a dad and me to play the son. So I was the dad and the son. And my cousin played a man named G Heto, which is G-Heto. Ghetto is the word. And my cousin, mind you, came up with like all of this. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying he came up with like all the ideas for the Agents series and the Omega series. So that's basically the Agents series. I play a character named Spencer the First, who's going after this warlord named Fagin, who's running like this behind-the-scenes drug transporting crime thing. And there's an enemy that Josh plays named Time Warp. He plays Fagin. He would play a lot of enemies and characters. I would play mainly the Spencers. And it was always so cheesy and corny because I was the dad and the son, and he was all the enemies, and our faces looked the same. I mean, we didn't have a crew. It was just a hobby we did for fun. So that's kind of that is a very, very long story short, very summarized, quick cut of what Agents is. There's a lot more story and details. I'm not going to get into it. And then through the years with the Agents series, we did different iterations or different seasons. Agents, the TV series, was the first we ever did. It was in 2005 or 2006 we began filming that. And then it went to Agents after the last episode was me now, Spencer the Second, after Spencer the First died. Spencer the Second, his son, takes over and tries to hunt down Cindy Superficial, which my sister played. She was an enemy of the Spencers. That was her name, Cindy Superficial, or Miss Superficial, as I would yell out in the series. And then after Agents, the last episode, it was, I believe, Agents, the Final Four. I might have this out of order. And then after that, which was like 2007, we moved into like 2009 to 2010. When I was in middle school, we began filming Agents Returns. Agents Returns was just that. We took a hiatus from the Agents series. We came back, Agents Returns. And then after that, it was like Agents Universe or Agents Saga, a whole bunch of weird a whole bunch of episodes that I don't even remember what the context of them were. And then we have our YouTube series, which we started in 2016, early 2016, called Agents, Agents the YouTube series. I still play I play Spencer the Third in that. Josh plays G-Heto, Time Warp. Better special effects, technology has gotten better since then, blah, blah, blah. That's basically the Agents series. Now the Omega series stars my cousin. He's the main character. He plays a character named Omega. That series began in 2007 and was primarily filmed at his mother's house. A little side note, the trailer that I mentioned earlier where we filmed Agents, where we began, that only held a few episodes because in 2007, early 2007, my aunt and grandmother moved into a new home, and that's where they've been ever since. My grandmother has since passed, God rest her soul. But my aunt still lives there, so she's been there for 18 years at that new home. So there wasn't many episodes of the Agents series at the trailer. Not many episodes of the Omega series at the trailer either. We're getting into my fond memories and stuff soon. I'm just doing a brief summary. So the Omega series started with the Omega Man. Stars my cousin in this series takes place in an apocalyptic world, zombies, the whole shebang. So the Omega character wears shades. He hides his eyes all the time. Dark blue coat, a revolver was his main sort of appearance in the Omega Man. And then we moved on to this is a series I'm more foggy on. In 2008 or 2009, we moved on to another iteration called The Omega Man Meets the Omega Woman, which starred my cousin as the Omega Man, who met a woman he codenamed the Omega Woman, which was at the time my cousin's real life girlfriend. She played the Omega Woman. And then after that, it was the Omega Saga or Universe. We had another series named the Agent Saga Universe. He used those terms a lot. I think it was like a Dragon Ball reference or something, or a reference from some sort of other media. So in that, I don't really remember the whole story. I think in the Omega Saga, this was filmed in like 2008 or 9. I think it was 2008 is when it started. My cousin had longer hair, like hair down to his shoulder almost. Same glasses, wore this white jacket with like these skulls on it and like money symbols on it. It was like this like thug jacket. It looked pretty cool. Same sort of thing. I played the Infected is mainly what I did in that series. Those early iterations, I was the Infected. I remember Josh got this like I still to this day cannot find like a brand new mask that we used, the same mask. I think it was like at Walmart or Dollar General or a Halloween store they bought the mask, and I think it was like a generic mask, so it's basically lost to time. I can't find the mask we used, but it was like this cheesy cracked skin mask with like vampire teeth, and it was like a vampire mask. And back then it was so big on my head because I was so little. I was like 7 or 8. I was like 7 when we began filming it. And I played all the Infected. And then moving along, the Omega, what was it? The Omega Men, no, the Omega Squad, part 1 of 2, came out in 2011, I believe. Like fall of 2011 was another Omega series or iteration. This time I played a character named Alpha, who is almost like the primary character of that series. Omega took a little bit of a back seat. So after all those iterations, 2011, we began filming. My cousin and I, we began filming the Omega Squad part 1 of 2. There was a part 2, however, oh man, my light just died on my little thing I was using. Oh, you're gonna have to deal with me being fuzzy. I'll scoot up a little more. The camera light just died. Anyway, so you could still see me. So the Omega Squad part 2 of 2 actually is corrupted and can't find it anywhere. There is a really short abridged version of part 2 of 2 on, I think, the Omega Agents HD, but so much of it is cut, and there's a lot of media from part 2 of 2 that's just lost in the abyss of YouTube. So that's basically it. The Agent series, where I played Spencer, and this is the weapon he used. Back then, filming these series, we used Nerf guns, we used airsoft, primarily Nerf when we did early series. This was Spencer's main gun. This isn't the exact one. It's the exact Nerf gun, like brand, the Maverick, but it's not the exact same one I used. But this is what Spencer used in 2005. This was his sidearm. Really, like his main weapon. He didn't really have another weapon. So let's talk about finally the memories, what it was like. So, man, it was so fun. I don't have like a whole lot of vivid memories of going up to the trailer because I was 5, 6 years old. A lot of it's fuzzy. But I do remember my dad was working at Ford at the time. And so it was like every Saturday when he would go to work, 5 in the morning, he'd wake my sister and I up. He'd put us in the truck and off he would drive to my grandmother's, to the trailer. And I remember dozing off and whatever, and we'd get there and then I'd sleep some more, and then at like 8 or 9, I would wake up and my cousin was ready to film Agents and whatnot. And it was always so fun. It was also really funny too, because when I was filming the Agents series, my sister and I would, oh God, we would always fight on camera. Since she was like one of the enemies, Miss Superficial, she's like 4 or 5 at the time, and I'm 6, almost 7. And there are so many clips in the Agent series where I'm literally punching her, because back then I had like the big brother beef with her, which I sorely regret ever, like as a kid, laying my hands on her. It still bothers me to this day, but there's so many funny clips where we're fake fighting and then it cuts to a quick shot of me actually punching her in the gut and all this sorts of crazy stuff. And it was a lot of fun. I remember it being a lot of fun, and there might be some pauses in this video because I need to think about, like, I gotta really retrieve some of the memories and what it was like. But yeah, those early Agents days, I don't really remember too much of. I do remember it being fun to film, had a lot of fun. It was, I remember on the old Wii he had, Nintendo Wii, we put in that little SD card and we watched some of the episodes on the big TV. We felt like superstars, and we were watching it in front of my aunt and grandma, and his mom too when he came out. I remember, I think I do remember showing my dad that first episode of Agents. You know, he was laughing his butt off. So now a lot of the fondness, the nostalgia starts to come in around the time we filmed the Omega Man, 2007-ish. I would go up after school, if it was break, like summer, spring, I would go up then and we'd film. On the weekends, I would always go up. And there was always this atmosphere, whether we were at his mom's filming the Omega Man or we were at the few episodes we did at the trailer before they moved into the brick house. There was always this sort of atmosphere that I felt being in my cousin's presence, even all the way up to when our falling out happened when I was 19, 20, like 5-6 years ago. There was always this atmosphere, this eagerness, and this like kind of cool feeling when I was around him. He was kind of like a big brother to me, still is, even though we don't talk anymore, unfortunately. But I looked up to him, being little and being 6-7 years younger than him. I looked up to him, and you know, I'd get there and we'd film, we'd get ready to film, and a lot of the props that we would use for Agents or the Omega Man we would source from Halloween stores, or we would make. We didn't make too many props, but I do remember one of the props that our uncle made in Agents was this little stick of dynamite. And I think it was like part of like a curtain rod or part of some sort of weird decorative ribbed pole. It had like these like ribs, like ribbed pieces going down it. And my uncle cut like a little 5-inch piece out of it, wrapped some tape and a shoestring, and it looked like a gray stick of dynamite. And I remember in the Agents series, I lit the dynamite and threw it, and Miss Superficial goes, "Oh, the bomb!" And then it just blows up, and she falls down, and we were fighting on the bed. Anyway, a lot of the props that we would source or obtain were Nerf guns, toys from the Dollar Tree. I don't know where my cousin got the revolver, Omega's main gun, but it was this little silver revolver with an orange tip, probably bought at Walmart or the Dollar Tree, because it was like a little revolver toy, like $5. And in Agents, obviously with the Nerf Maverick that I showed, and there was like this Buzzbee, I think is the brand, this yellow shotgun with this blue compartment on the stock of the shotgun that you could hold more darts. And that was Time Warp's main shotgun in the Agent series. Talking about, and then we go to the Omega, same sort of thing. The infected mask we used for like all the infected, all of them. almost all infected had the same mask because we didn't have a budget. We didn't have anything to buy latex masks or silicone masks. We were two kids filming series whenever I hung out with them to pass the time. And the infected leader was this character, speaking of costumes. The infected leader is a character in the Omega Man series. And the infected leader was literally like the Ruby's Chewbacca outfit. It was like a high-end Chewbacca outfit, but it was like from 2008, 9. I think it was Ruby's is who made it. It looked okay. It had all the fur, like it was full body. It was full body fur, the Chewbacca mask, and that was the infected leader. I don't know why, but and I'm saying all this in good light. I'm not hating on what we did. We copied a lot of source material from other shows and whatnot because we just made it work. And then now past the 2007 and 8 mark, we get into the 2010s, and this is where I really remember the most of filming Agents and filming the Omega series, filming both those series. There was always like this like euphoric atmosphere. I was a kid, so like I really didn't have a negative outlook on life. Everything was positive and fun, and it was all jovial and good and awesome. So I remember just always being so excited to go up there and just hang out with him, whether it was watching him edit videos, which we'll talk about, whether it was filming. I remember setting up to film, watching him spend 10 minutes on the tripod, screwing in the camera, or fidgeting with the handheld camera that we had. And back then, we'd always like rewatch our shots. I remember so many shots that we did, whether it was in Agents or the Omega series, we would always watch them back because we were like, oh, that punch looked good. Let's rewatch it. And we'd sit on the steps and we'd play back and navigate the slow, clunky menu of that little camcorder. And we'd watch it back and we'd see the punch look like it would connect. We're like, oh yeah, that looked great. And then one of the most fond memories I have in terms of hanging out with him, filming Agents and filming the Omega series, was sitting to his left, watching him edit. Back then it was Windows Vista and like Windows XP and Windows 7. So he would edit at his 99% of the time it was at his mother's house. He had a computer desk, he would edit, and I would sit to the left of him. If we're looking at the computer, I'm facing his direction, I was to the left. And I would always, I never had like I never had a proper chair, like 99% of the time. It was either, oh man, really thinking about it does bring it back. I sat on, I don't know what they're called. It's a rectangle with like a lid on it, but it's got like a couch, like feeling to it. It's got like a stuffing, like it's like a square compartment, a rectangular compartment that has a removable lid. And the whole thing has like the texture of a couch on it. It's like a couch accessory, something you sit by it. You'd remove the little top, and the top was almost like a little pillow I'd sit on. And I would sit, and it was just, I remember the clicking of his keyboard. Click, 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 click. And we would talk, and we would, oh man, I haven't thought about this in a while. Like, really thinking about it. Because I think about it every day because it was just so fun, but I haven't like really had deep thought about it for a while. But I would sit to his left, and it was always, he would put it in Windows Live Movie Maker. I kid you not, the bare bones like editing program for whatever Windows software at the time, and I would watch him edit. And it was like this, it was like a surreal type of feeling back then, because I don't know, it just had there was this cool ambience to the whole thing. It was relaxing, and it was kind of almost therapeutic, and it was fun, and we laughed, and he'd have other tabs pulled up on like the Newgrounds website, which I think is still up. We'd watch like Star Wars parody videos, we'd play RuneScape, and when I'd watch him edit, sometimes dubbing, we'd have to dub. Like audio, like the audio file got corrupted, we'd have to dub our lines, or we'd add sound effects to the Agents or Omega series with our mouth. We'd add infected growling. We'd layer infected sounds to where it sounds like there was a horde outside of the house. And I remember, like, he also had this weird little crappy webcam, like a 2007 or 8 webcam that was on a ball. The webcam was a ball, and it had like that flexible wire, so you could like move your webcam. I don't know why that was a thing. Horrible quality, like it's so pixely, 240. I don't remember what we dubbed him, but I do remember he had like a little tiny microphone, and then like I think like a long, thin, cheap microphone we would dub into it. If you got even just a little bit close, it would just be ear rape. But we had a lot of, oh God, it was fun. And let's not forget the green screening. Oh my God. So many shots in, not so many. There were some shots in the Agents, all the Agents iterations, all the Omega iterations where we would use a green screen. I think the earliest green screening we did was like maybe 2006 or the Omega Man. I don't remember. But in my aunt's house, his mother's house, there's a hallway. Oh, wow. This is crazy just to relive. There's a hallway. You're facing the hallway. On one of the left walls close to the bathroom that's in that hallway, on that wall, this tannish just wall of the house, he put up a green screen. And we would use thumbtacks to just put, I bet the holes are still in the wall. I would love to see. Man, it's just crazy to think about. I haven't really like thought deeply about all of this in a while. It's nice to think about. But we green screen some shots. He was like, let's try green screen. We can have you falling through the clouds. We can, man, that became a meme on my channel. We can have you, I hear my cat meowing outside the door. We can have you falling through the clouds. We can have you on Mustafar. We can have you in lava. We can have you in a plane. And I remember one of the shots in Agents Return, Spencer's flying a plane. So we green screened me in the cockpit of a plane. And we would have like, back then we didn't have studio lights. So what we would use was a work light, like one of those yellow heavy metal, like a little work light that super strong that you'd light up as you're working on your car or whatever. It wasn't like dimly lit. You couldn't adjust the settings. It was a super bright work light, really old. So we would plug it into the bathroom and back up the light, because if you have it too close, you're going to drown out the green screen and you're going to make me look like I'm in the sun. So we back then, when we first started green screening, we had he stole a work light from his stepdad, and didn't really steal it, but that's what we'd use for lighting. And maybe sometimes he would wave the light around, depending on like if I was moving or the background was moving, we'd move the light around. And yeah, I remember just in the process of, Josh was very slow at setting up, and again, I'm saying all this in a good light. Josh was very slow at setting up the camera and the lights and stuff, and I was very slow at remembering my lines and whatnot. So I remember, I remember sitting on the ground or standing in front of the green screen for like an hour. I kid you not, just sitting there waiting for the tripod to get set up, waiting for him to do something on the computer in regards to the series, whatever. I remember so much time just sitting around, getting ready, spacing out, eating a Pop-Tart, eating a Hot Pocket. And yeah, so we put the green screen on the wall with thumbtacks. We would one in the corner, one there, one there, one there. And I remember sometimes it was a pain to get that green screen up. Josh would be messing with the green screen for like 35, 40 minutes. And sometimes I'd get a little sad because he would be like, Joe, buddy, I don't know if we're going to be able to film today. He'd call me Captain. Sometimes too. He's like, Captain, I don't know if we're going to be able to film today. It's like, man, well, this kind of sucks. And again, mind you, this is like, I'm talking about 2008, 9, and 10, where I was really little. Um, and then, yeah, one of my most fond memories throughout all of that was watching him edit. I don't know why. It was just, it was cool to look up to him as like a brotherly, as a brother, and to like, I felt like I was learning from him, and everything he was doing kind of felt correct or good to me. Like I was like, oh, this is cool. I like watching him edit. I like seeing how he does that. And I think that's partially why I kind of have, it's not like a hyper interest, but I do have an interest in technology. I do have more of an interest in filming and stuff, thanks to him, because he got me into that when I was 5, 6 years old. And yeah, they were good times. And then 2015, 2016, we moved out to like outdoor locations. When we started driving, we got our license. We would drive to Southwestway Park to film agents. We'd film at just all different locations because we could drive, because we went different places. Oh man. So there's an episode of Agents. It's on the Agents Cinematic Universe channel. I don't remember the episode name. I'll probably link the channels down below. There's an episode where Georgie, in the Agent series, Georgie meets Spencer at McDonald's. And I remember filming that. That is one of the episodes I fully remember filming, because we were going to see the movie The Knowing, I think is what it was called, with Nicolas Cage, like 2008 or 2009. That movie was in theaters, and right before we got McDonald's, but Josh was like, kind of on a whim, let's film an Agents video. Man, I had good times. He's like, yeah, let's film an Agents video. And so it was spontaneous. I was in this like dark gray and green coat, and the idea was Georgie and Spencer meet up to talk about Fagin, the warlord, that there's like there's a taxi with drugs that's coming past this McDonald's, and Gietta is like, Spencer, I'm gonna have you do something, and I think I'm good at it, but I think you are too. It's a drug bust. And Spencer goes, I'm not gonna stop a vehicle just so you can smoke some more marijuana. But I didn't say marijuana, I said marijuana. I don't know, I flubbed it. I said, I'm not gonna stop a vehicle just so you can smoke some more marijuana. I don't know. Oh man. And then right after that, it cut. We saw the movie The Knowing, it was great. Came back, and then I like snapped the neck of the taxi driver, and Giotto steals the drugs, and that was basically the episode. Made no sense. Like all the episodes, none of the Agent series, the Omega series, made really any sort of real sense. It was just my cousin and I goofing off, and when we hung out, that was the way we filled the time. That's the way we passed the time, was filming Agents, filming the Omega series, filming and other series too. Like there was, oh god, I don't know if it's a DLC for Grand Theft Auto 4, but I don't know if it's the name of it, but Josh and I filmed a series called The Ballad of Gay Tony. And I don't know. I don't know what we were doing. I don't even remember the plot. It was like Josh was a gangster, and like I was the evil character in the series, and like I remember being tied up to a chair, and he's interrogating me, and I'm sitting in this little chair. It was like a what was that series of those colorful bears called in like 2005, 6, 7, and 8? Care Bears, derp. It was a Care Bears chair, or a strawberry shortcake chair, and I was sitting in it, and Josh fake kicks me in the chair, and I fall back in real life, but I fall too far, and I snap the legs off of the chair. It was like this Dollar Tree plastic, really flimsy chair. So that's it. That's like, those are my memories and what it felt like to film those series. And this, I could go on literally for 3-4 hours. I've left out a lot of details. Makes such a long story short. We filmed from 2005 to 2019 when we had the falling out. So 14 years of friendship, filming, making these series, having fun. And I'm going to close this with the falling out. I'm not going to go into details. Water under the bridge. I'm not going to say who's right or wrong because I don't even care about it. I stopped caring about it like a year and a half later. My cousin and I, we had a falling out over a stupid argument. He and I no longer speak. I've seen him many times since the falling out. We just don't talk. I wish he would come around, because he was my rock, you know. He was my best friend, and when my dad wasn't raising me, or when I was hanging out with him, he was like my little brother. He was my big brother, essentially. We don't talk anymore. We don't hang out because of issues, whatever, family drama. But man, the times I had filming with him and whatnot, I will cherish forever, because I got the hiccups, the best times in my life by far, filming those series, hanging out with him. It was amazing. I had an incredible time, and hopefully in the future we do rekindle and talk to each other again, because as my grandma said, life is too short. But that's it. That's essentially what it was like filming Agents, what it was like filming the Omega Squad, the Omega series. I could go on for like 9 hours talking about this stuff, because I really have abridged this. There's so many more details I could have explained or given. But for time's sake, this 36-minute video will do. I'm going to actually close it with another funny fact. When Josh would edit, he would stay up late at night. I would sit to his left and get tired and go to bed. All right, I'm making this a poem. I would wake in the middle of the night and see Josh in his tidy whites. This is not at all true. I was trying to actually explain it with a poem, but I fucked it up. I'll actually explain it this time. Josh and I would do weird stuff when we were editing. That didn't sound right either, damn it. I told you this video isn't going to be edited. Josh and I we were just weird. We're still weirdos. Josh would eat raw spaghetti as he would edit sometimes, and salt. I don't know why, but he would give me like his noodle. He would give me a couple of his noodles and say, "Here, eat." I'm like, dude, I don't think this is doing much for my stomach. And he would sprinkle a little salt in my hand. He'd be like, "This is energy." We were just goofball weirdo kids. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, good Lord, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you when I talk about this topic again.